Hello and welcome. It's that Bean Guy with a brand new video with a brand new series I like to call the positives and the negatives. Basically, what I'm going to do is take the positives and the negatives from each killer and tell you what they are. Starting off today, we have the Trickster, and I cannot wait to get a little bit more in depth right after. Oh, wait, I don't have a sponsor. Well, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Positive, throwing knives. I like the throwing knives because it makes me feel a little bit like Batman. Well, in this case, more like Joker. They are very interesting to say the least. I really do enjoy the Trickster's throwing knives because once you hit that 8 in a row mark and the main event starts, it is utter chaos. I really do enjoy it. It's fun, it makes the game a little more interesting. Of course, you're going to miss a little bit. But that does bring me to my first negative. Now I know what you're thinking, isn't it redundant to put the throwing knives back on the list, even though you just had them on the positives? Absolutely. Unfortunately, I do have to put them back on the list, because if you miss with those throwing knives, you're wasting resources, am I right? So in that case, now you're going to have to go get some more throwing knives in a locker, then you're going to have to track down the survivors again. And by that time, the generators are starting to get fixed again, and you've just wasted time. And if you miss with the main event, so help me God, you're royally screwed. You're not going to have a choice but to go get some more throwing knives, because that is your second ability, and you need that ability. But I don't like talking so much about the negatives. Well, actually, yeah, I do. But let's go ahead and move on to another positive. His perks. His perks are absolutely amazing. No Way Out is such a good in-game difference maker that it's unbelievable. To block off an exit gate switch for a few seconds helps a lot as being a killer. And then you got crowd control. Crowd control is really good too, because we've all had those survivors like to jump in and out of windows constantly, basically pulling your chain a little bit. But when you can sit there and completely get rid of that for a few seconds, that's okay with me. And then next you have Starstruck. When you're carrying a survivor and you can sit there and see people running around trying to help this guy, and you've hooked them, hey, as long as I can get to that person quick enough to where they can't get that survivor off the hook, I'm sold. But again, I do have some negatives to talk about, so let's go ahead and talk about another negative. His speed. He looked like he was supposed to be one of the fastest, but he really wasn't. When we first got the Trickster, he was slow. And I mean slow. Definitely not nurse slow, but he definitely was nowhere near as fast as we thought he would be. But he did get buffed, so I guess I can't argue too much. That's just more of a nitpick, I guess you could say. I still didn't like how it was to begin with, and that was kind of like, what in the world? But now he is a little bit faster, definitely not as fast as some, but definitely nowhere near as slow as he was, which is a negative and a positive together, so I guess you could say it's kind of a pos negative? I don't know, but I still have that little bit of a negative in there, kind of like, this guy could have been a lot better to begin with. And the buff helped out a lot, and let's go ahead and get on to the next positive, which will be the last positive and the last negative. So if you could, please like, share, and subscribe. Flick that notification bell to keep up to date with all my brand new content, which will come to you soon enough. And let's go ahead and talk about that last positive and that last negative. And by the way, these aren't the biggest positives and these aren't the smallest negatives. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? And here we are, the in-game. His in-game ability is something fierce. He is absolutely one of the better killers when it comes to the in-game. Like I said, his perks make it to where he is a force to be reckoned with in the in-game. And I really do like that. I like being able to, fix my mistakes. If I made a mistake early in the game, I can fix it in the in-game because of his perks and his ability. Especially the main event. The main event really helps out in that end game, so I definitely have to say that this is a smaller positive, but that in-game play is something to behold, and I really do enjoy using him, especially in the in-game. And for the next negative, I would have to say I do not like that they ranked him a beginner. He is not a beginner killer. That is not the case. He is definitely one of those ones that a beginner could use him, but he won't be as good, which really stinks. It really does. I really like the Trickster, but I would not put his ranking as easy. He's definitely intermediate, if not hard. So that's been my list. I know it wasn't the biggest, I know it wasn't the most spectacular list of positives and negatives, but those are just a few of mine. You know, he is a solid killer. If I had to put him on a scale of 1 to 5, I would definitely give him a 4 stars out of 5. He is a solid killer with solid abilities and perks. He's a great in-game player, but he does have some speed issues. He does have a few little other low-lying issues, especially if you mess with those knives and the main event. Then he's just kind of eh. But like I said, to me, since I'm definitely getting more experienced with him, I would say he is easily a 4 out of 5. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you could please like, share, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Help get this channel booming. Again, click that notification bell. Let me know what you guys think. Stay up to date with my videos. Have a great day. This has been your host, That Bean Guy. Talk to you guys later, and another video will be coming out